Hey gang, it's Chris Angel coming at you for another episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. And tonight we're talking about policies and principles, or moreover, principles are greater than policies. Principles are greater than policies. At the time of this recording, there is a presidential debate happening, which is great. I am not watching it, but it does bring up for me my feelings of past debates that I've watched, where usually what happens in a debate is people share their policy and then fight tooth and nail to defend their policy and talk over one another because their policy is better than somebody else's policy. It's a little bit ridiculous to me, but I've already done an episode on that. So let's move on from that, shall we? Here's the deal about policy. Like, I'm not saying you don't need policy to run a country. I'm not saying that you don't need the letter of the law to make it go, right? To run something, because we all need a common set of rules that we all engage by, right? That we all follow, so that we're all playing the same game. So, there is a place for policy. There is a place for targets and goal setting. There's a place for initiatives and projects. I get that. Yes, please. All of that. That's great. But if what you come at me with is your policy, and I don't know your principles, I don't know what you hold valuable. I don't know how you think about things. I don't know your mindset about things. Then what can happen with policy is that it comes out sounding like rhetoric. It comes out sounding like all the things I've heard before. That's the challenge with policy. Versus principle. When you lead with principle, when you tell me how you think about something, the principle of something, when you tell me about the things that you value, before you ever tell me about the things that your policy includes, you open up a window of time for me to build trust with you. This is why people don't trust politicians, because most politicians run with policy, or what we know of the politician is policy. And when politicians are quoted or interviewed, what comes out is policy, right? So this is why it is so important to revisit principles. It is the principle that gives life to the policy. It is the principle that gives life to the policy. Now, let's transition this into marketing for a minute, right? Because marketing is the same way. What happens a lot of times in marketing is that people are leading with their policy. In other words, they're leading with their product, they're leading with their service, they're leading with how to do something, and all of that doesn't build trust with me, right? I don't actually, in fact, I don't even look to you as a trusted advisor, because all you're talking to me about is how things work and what things we're going to do versus why we're doing them. Principles get at the why we do things, right? This is popular for people lately, right? Because Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why, his TED Talk on the Golden Circle, that really resonated with a lot of people, because so many people in their marketing have been stuck with, this is what we do, this is how we do it. This is what we do, this is how we do it. And when Simon Sinek started to point to, yes, but what makes the greats is that they start with why. They talk about why this matters. And once you know why it matters, now we can talk about what it is and how we do it. But before we can talk about what and how, you have to know why we're even talking about this. So in marketing, we've got to start to think this way also. Principles are greater than policy. Principles in your marketing are more important than the how you do something. I see a lot of people that try to sell their programs, and what they're leading with in the selling of their programs is a lot of how we do it. You're giving me all the things we're going to cover in the program with you, but you're not telling me the mindset about it. You're not telling me the paradigm. You're not giving me the why it's so important. And so you're leading with all the policy of it, the letter of the law of it, the how of it, the what of it, and you're not giving me any reason to emotionally connect with what it is you have for me. So this is a big deal, because it's one of the biggest breakthroughs for me in the last several years of marketing, because I was a big policy guy as it relates to marketing. As an educator, as a teacher, I want to show you how. I want to show you what and how. And I kept missing why. I kept missing the principle of it. But it's always been the principle that gives life to the policy. It's always been the why we do something that gives the thing we do meaning and purpose. So here's how we're going to finish this tonight. What I want you to do is start thinking about why you do what you do. Like, why does it matter? Where there was a mindset you had before you do what you did, before you do what you do. There was a mindset that you had prior to the important work you're taking on now. And then something shifted for you and you stepped into a new paradigm, a new mindset. There was a new principle guiding your actions and your decisions. What was that? Journal that down. What was that? What was the paradigm shift for you that had you step into your important work in the world? And create this new business, this new journey, this new venture, this new way of helping and serving people. What was the paradigm shift for you? Now, start to share that with us in your marketing. Okay? If you'd like to learn more about how to begin to access the principles of your marketing, I created a free course for you at groundswellmethod.com. You can go to groundswellmethod.com. It's 5 videos, just over 90 minutes, and it is free. Okay, so start there if you want to go deeper into these principles, right, of marketing. And until tomorrow, when I see you again, have a great night.